when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lee's saying he's wondering whether or not that might be the moon, Tony, but you pointed out it's exactly the question people are asking. What is it?
No. Yeah. Yeah, no, we're looking at the moon right now, and that's nowhere near the moon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the moon.
Meanwhile,
members of Congress and local elected
What is going on, Cole?
Increasingly
Well,
at the Biden administration.
maybe an alien invasion? Or what?
Why are they not over Montana?
Because we have Sasquatch.
We do.
We have Sasquatch here, and he's protecting us. I don't know. How are you, Milo?
I'm doing good.
All right.
I am doing good. I was thinking about this though. I'm like, I've been watching this, and nobody's reporting these things over Montana. And
No.
I thought, is it because Montanans would be quick to shoot it down?
Yes. It would. Well, we had that one Chinese drone or balloon flying over Montana. Nobody shot it down, so maybe not. But if there were a bunch of blinky drones over Montana, I think they'd get shot down. We're just that way out here.
How would the sheriff's department respond to something like that, do you think, out here? If people are shooting at drones? I mean, I guess maybe if you're outside of town, do you think it would be an issue? Would anybody care?
Probably not. It probably wouldn't get reported. It probably wouldn't. Like, we don't need that stuff here. It's kind of like the shoot, shovel, and shut up type of thing. The drones would just kind of disappear and nobody would know about it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'd probably be out there with my, rifle taking pot shots up in the sky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would be too, honestly.
This is crazy, this stuff that's going on here, though. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
Administration's lack of answers over these ongoing, unexplained drone sightings. Republicans and Democrats alike are demanding more transparency, some calling it outrageous and concerning. The drone sightings are no longer limited to New Jersey. Now there are other states, including New York and Connecticut, where state police just deployed a drone detection.
And now I'm even hearing about China.
That they're flying, China's flying drones over us, or China has drones flying over them?
I heard, at first I've heard people were saying, why doesn't China? It must be China flying drones over us. Okay.
Okay.
I heard a lot of that, and I was like, okay, that kind of makes a little bit of sense, I guess, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm seeing videos where Chinese citizens are running, and there's drones coming off over their coastlines, and people are reacting to that. And so unless that's a big psyop and that they're just staging that to take the heat and the pressure off of them, that they're, hey, we're not the ones. We're not doing it because we're getting invaded too.
I say it's psyops. If I was going to do psyops, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd be flying the drones over whatever country that I'm spying on or doing whatever I'm doing. And then I'd propagandize it and be like, oh no, it's happening to us too.
Totally.
Look out. And then I go all out, so I'd have a little green man dropping out of one of these drones every once in a while just to throw everybody off, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's actually kind of a good idea.
Seriously, nobody's shooting them down that we know of, and there's no little green man coming out of these on the East Coast yet. So
I'm a little behind on my auto switch in there. I'm like, or not on my auto switch, and on my manual switch in there.
Oh.
Do you think though that they wouldn't maybe do you think that they would cover up the fact that people are shooting at them so that they don't encourage others to do that?
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah, I would think so. Because I think once you start being like, oh, this person so and so shot it down, then it'd be open season on drones. And I think the government doesn't want that to happen at all. Government wants to I mean, it could be a complete psyops with the government too. You know, look what's happening here, but look what we're really doing over here, or so you don't look what's happening over here, and I don't know, but
it's kind of like what big story would they be covering up right now? Like which one? Like here, everybody pay attention to these drones.
Well, I mean,
and then like there's about 15 other things that you could list off right now that are worthy of taking attention off of, right?
That we're not really paying attention, like glossing over big pharma and all the companies not being able to get prosecuted for COVID stuff till 2029. How many people is this administration pardoning this last week?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see the one about the guy who, I mean, he had like, I don't even think we can say all these things. He had all kinds of bad pictures. He had all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about. He was into the younger group. Anyway, he was some dude I can't remember all the specifics on the guy. I watched a couple of things on that where they were saying that there's like no reason this guy should have been pardoned. I mean, he was way into kids in not a good way.
And he was pardoned.
Yeah. The other thing about I want to keep watching this. Let's see what see what they say here.
See what they say.
System. Just moments ago, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby was asked once again to try to explain this all.
I wish I could tell you exactly why we don't have an answer for you here in the afternoon on the 13th of December, but I can tell you that we are working on it very, very hard to know, because we want to answer those questions the same as those folks in New Jersey want answers to them. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
This guy's just slimy. Hey, this is my guy. I forgot I even clicked on his video. This is my guy, Greg Foreman.
Over the fact that
I just thought I went into a news report of his. I forgot that I'd clicked on a Greg Foreman video a while ago that I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm going to take that off of there. There we go. We're off of that screen there. Now I'm on you. These drones, though, I mean, have you seen how big they are? I mean, people are talking that they're like as big as a car.
Yeah, like 7-8 feet. I mean, something like that.
Yeah, and then the other report on that was that they are not putting off a heat signature. The cops are sitting there looking at them.
Yeah, using what we call FLIR most of the time. We have FLIRs FLIR, F-L-I-R, and you can look at stuff and it gives off heat signature. So we use them. So if we have to track somebody or something, we can run this FLIR, look through a FLIR on the ground, and if you had just walked by there, it changes the heat on the ground, and so we can see that. And so yeah, if they're not showing off a heat signature, then you're not going to see anything through the FLIR.
I wonder on a drone that big if they can. How would they be able to insulate that battery? Like that battery, when you're flying a drone around,
right, you
get that battery back. It's pretty dang hot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't understand how they would. I mean, obviously we don't know what the energy source is on these things, but it must take a crap ton of energy to keep something that size moving up there for that long. They're staying up there forever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I guess the only thing that they could be doing is trying to insulate that battery or something like that. I don't know. You don't know what kind of technology these guys got. Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is?
Who do I think it is? Us. I think it's us. I do. I think it's us. I really think that we're using it as either some kind of defense system training.
John Kirby just says it's not us. You don't trust John Kirby?
Not at all. Do you?
Not at all. The way he's like, oh, hey, we're working hard on this. We're working hard on this, and we want to find out just like everybody else. He's doing that whole thing. Like,
right.
Oh, come on, dude.
No, I mean, I have a pretty good hunch that it's us, and it's some kind of defense program training that we're doing. I mean, they do stuff. The government trains all the time and uses American citizens as its subjects in training operations, and we don't know about it 90% of the time. I mean, why wouldn't they? Who do you think it is?
I was leaning toward the Chinese, I'll be honest. I was thinking, and I don't blame them. Hey, they got that balloon that flew over us just fine forever, right? I mean, that was kind of an embarrassing thing for us. And I don't know, made a lot of sense to me that I was thinking, I don't know, maybe the Chinese have gotten way better with their drones and they're just trying to see how we react to this stuff. But I don't know. It's hard to really say. And like I say, they could just be trying to say, you know, cover it up by like, hey, no, we're getting invaded as well. Yeah. So they could be trying to cover that up, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just getting crazy though. I'll tell you, everything's just gotten crazy. It hasn't gotten crazy since literally like 2020. Has it? Remember when all that kicked off in 2020? Doesn't it feel like it's just kind of gotten crazy and stayed crazy since 2020? Or is that just me?
No, I think you're right. But I think, well, look, and I think and you're talking COVID, right after 2019, 2020, the whole COVID ordeal?
There was COVID, but there was a lot of things that started happening during COVID. I can't remember them now, but there was like, there was a lot of craziness that started to happen. Well, there was all the rioting that was going on. There was burning of places and all that other kind of stuff. There was that kind of stuff. But I can't remember all the other stuff. It was just like one big thing after another just kept coming out. And that was the big joke back in 2020. But it hasn't really calmed down that much. It just seems like it's gotten, or not gotten, but it has just stayed consistently kind of crazy. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of trust in the federal government program, period. And I think since 2019, 2018, that federal government just is trying to see how much it can actually get away with and how blind the American populace has become. And so they just keep pushing that envelope a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. I think they started it, 2019, 2020, COVID, and they just kept pushing the limit, pushing the limit, pushing the limit, and then they just keep doing things. And I think the American populace as a whole doesn't pay attention. And so if I have power and I'm greedy, I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing to see how much power and greed and corruption I can get by with before I get called out on it. So why wouldn't we do it with now drone technology?
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I tend to look at it like this. I feel like people are so incompetent that I don't mean to just dog on all people. I'm just saying that it's very hard to get everybody to, if you're going to try to pull off something, if you're going to try to keep pushing these things, it's going to be very hard to get, there's so much human error.
Right.
It's very hard, like just running a business and just having your employees do what they're supposed to do, especially if you're trying to just run a big scam on everybody, or if you're trying to do these things where you're pushing things and pushing things. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, gosh, you got to really have your ducks in a row. I don't know who I know they do that type of stuff. I'm just saying there's a part of me that questions these things sometimes about it being a mass controlled thing versus, I don't know, that it's more of a, I don't know how to explain that. Not so much of a concerted thing, but as in just people, like-minded people tending to kind of do things or push an agenda or an ideology or a purpose or whatever. But I don't know about one guy being in charge of it or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think it's one guy. Not at all.
Or even like a group of guys, a secret group of guys. But pulling some of these things off in such secrecy, I know they can do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm always looking at things from that angle to try to be like, okay, because it's I don't want to fall for every conspiracy theory or every wacko theory or whatever. Some of them I try to look at though and be like, hey, how hard would it be to get people all to work together on this to pull something like this off? It's very hard to get people to do anything
as a group
and be error free and keep it a secret. There's people involved. People can't keep secrets. Oh man,
they do though.
Speaking of that, dude,
they do though.
Here's this rabbit hole. I found a great video. I've been on a guy Can't remember what his name is. I found this YouTube video. Who knows? You never know if these guys are for real. But it is sure fun to watch. But he says that he was on the grassy knoll. And I think he's in prison. This is like an older interview. And he's, I don't know, somebody got in there and met this guy, or got with this guy. And this guy is basically explaining everything about who took out JFK. And it is pretty dang interesting. Yeah. And it has been fascinating. It's been kind of fun to watch. But they've been able to keep that one mostly covered up. But then you realize maybe they haven't. Maybe there's been lots of people who is known who took out JFK. I mean, it seems like the public is sliding more and more toward being open to the fact that, hey, it's obviously it wasn't just one shooter. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago even, you couldn't, even then, you really couldn't suggest that it was somebody other than Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right.
But now it's like everybody's questioning everything lately. That goes back to my thoughts about 2020, is that since 2020, it's like the envelope has been pushed and pushed and pushed. And now everybody's kind of, I feel, willing to accept all kinds of things or be open to all kinds of madness. You know what? I think that was around the first time, too, that the whole UFO thing, that's when they started to come out and they started to show Commander Fravor. Can't remember what his name is. And the Navy was acknowledging that, hey, there are things that are flying around that we don't know what they are.
Right.
That happened in 2020. And now we're all just kind of numb to it, I think. But anyway, I'm getting all sidetracked here. But it made me think about that broader picture of conspiracies, what it takes to get everybody on board with all of that, and how well do they really keep these secrets. So,
yeah, I don't know though. I think you're given, I don't know. I just look at it like, so, I mean, they've already tried to push this narrative that these drones are coming from Iran, right? Well, what's going on right now in the Middle East to say, yeah, that could be exactly what's happening, because now we had, the Syrian rebels, depose Assad. We've got all that going on. We still have, Hezbollah and those groups, and, we have the Israeli conflict with, Hezbollah and all that going on right now. So we're automatically assuming that these drones are from Iran. So they keep building on these narratives. And I really don't think that the American people or the American public in general give two craps about it. And so they just keep it going.
Yeah.
And there's not enough pushback in the grand scheme of things. I mean, there's the people that we follow on social media because they're like-minded. But in reality, that's a really small group of people. And so I think it's real easy to play into this huge narrative because people in general don't care.
It's hard to push back when the conversation is kind of controlled. There for a while, too, like until X got purchased up by Elon, remember, you couldn't say certain things on certain platforms.
Right.
And you'd lose your account. So it got to be, it was like, ooh, who do you talk to? Like, who do you say things in front of? I want to take a second and acknowledge that the comment section is out of control.
I've been trying to watch the comment section, and yes.
Hey, there's some good conversations already going on in the comment section. I want to acknowledge the comment section. So let's explain who we are, all right? We are the Big Fat Podcast, and we have a little studio here that we've had for years in a little small town in Montana. And we just, we use this place to record, just interesting conversations with people around here who are passionate about things. We're also doing a little project right now with our local museum. We love history. We're just a couple of local guys right here. And that we are... So we do a lot of history. We just talk about whatever we want to talk about. But we recently said, hey, why don't we just go live? We always just record things. We've never gone live before. So this is our very first live stream. So thank you, everybody out there in the comment section or whoever's watching, for being a part of our first kind of official live stream here from Big Fat Studios. And I just noticed there's some great... Misguided Angel was in here and said... something about that just a few days ago that they were telling us it's from Iran. And I'm like, it's changing. And that was from like a member of Congress, if I'm correct.
That's what, yeah, it was from supposed, yeah, member of
Right?
Congress, yes.
And he was just like, there's a mothership that we lost. You know, I got to where I don't even watch Fox News anymore. I just don't. You know, I don't watch any of them really. I pretty much get my news from the few people that I kind of trust, or now I'm spending a lot of time on X. I hate to admit, but I'm on there all the time now since Elon bought that. But anyway, just because it's so unfiltered. But that was a clip I saw on Fox, and this guy's just right on there going, "There's a mothership. We lost it. It's off our coast." And anyway, so yeah, and we're all like, "Oh, Iran's got a mothership," and then you're thinking about it a little bit later, and you're like, "Wait a minute, they really got that? Can they really do that? I mean, how would we not know? Iran's off the coast,
right?
You'd have people on fishing boats off there telling on Iran.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know." But thank you everybody in the comment section. We appreciate you guys for chiming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there drones in Montana right now? No, I keep looking up. And I'm wondering though, because we did have the balloon that went over us. Right?
Right. We've had more than one balloon.
And now I'm seeing these huge drones and I love drones, right? I have a drone. How many of us all have drones? I love my drone, right? Mm-hmm. And so the technology behind it is fascinating to me because these things are monsters. They're big. They're staying up there forever the way they can move. But no, we're not seeing them over Montana right now. But I've seen we're seeing there in California, Washington, Oregon, New Jersey. What are the other places? And I'm like, how long is it until they're over our little towns, our rural states? You know, I'm interested to see that because I think people here. I think they're going to take their deer rifle outside and they're shooting up at them. I just don't think people around here would hesitate.
No, I don't either. I mean, and that's probably one of the nice things about living here is that.
Because in New Jersey, they don't have any Second Amendment, right?
No, pretty much. Not anymore. I mean, it's pain in the ass to get it all.
You take a deer rifle outside on your porch and fire up, like you're going away for a very long time.
Yeah.
But like you said, I could do that out here and it's not getting reported.
Probably not.
No.
So,
is there something illegal about that outside of the city?
Shooting a gun?
Yeah, off your porch like that?
There's nearly nothing. Outside of, as long as it's not harassing another person or disturbing the peace. You really.
Yeah, there's not like.
You know.
Because like out where I live, there's no something that would get me on like.
Yeah.
Discharge of a firearm.
And I'd have to look at MCA when it pertains to, hey, is there something about shooting up at a drone that's illegal under code? So I'd have to look that up, to say 100%. But disorderly conduct, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't destruction of property if it is in fact somebody's drone.
In Montana, you think they'd issue a license? You'd be able to draw a tag
for a drone. So and I did see somebody mention in the comments.
New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Misguided Angel. But what was I going? See, I totally lost track of what I was going to say.
You were saying, and I lost it too. How did I lose it? I was paying attention.
Yeah, I know. Dang it. Oh well.
It'll take 20 seconds for somebody to remind us.
Yeah. No. But there's going to be a bunch of supposedly new FAA regulations coming out soon regarding drone usage, private drone usage.
Yeah.
And so, I want to know because I'm not a big drone guy. We know, so I am a photographer. I do a lot of wildlife photography, but I'm not huge into the drone stuff because I like holding on to my lenses and filming video and being eye to eye with these animals and stuff like that. So I'm not real big on the drone usage personally, but I do know there's a bunch of new regulations supposedly coming out, and maybe there's some kind of theory with all these drone sightings going on.
This is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know there's people speculating right now. Are they setting this up just so they can clamp down on drones, personal drones, and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I think they like to take advantage of a situation. Do I think they set it up to do that? Who knows? Do I know that they like to take advantage of these types of things so that they can clamp down on things? Yes. And why? Because here's my thoughts on that is because you've got these politicians who are invested into other companies, you know, so like the DJI drone ban that's they're doing right now, which I'm a little bit behind on. So apologize about that, but they're banning DJI drones, and DJI drones make up something like 70% of the world's drones. It's some crazy number. Okay. And they're just trying to, now there for a while, I thought, because the politician was a woman who was proposing it, who threw it into a much broader bill, which I think it did pass. I can't remember though. I'm really behind on what's happening with it. Yeah. Because I just kind of gave up on it. I have a ton of DJI products. I love them. They make things, they're just high quality products, very affordable, right? We all love DJI. So, but then I was like kind of bummed out when they're going after him. The story was this, and I could be wrong. There was a woman, politician, I cannot remember her name. She put it in the bill to ban DJI drones, and then what it was people were saying, well, that's because she is connected to Skydio, which is another drone company. Okay. Now I could be just completely wrong on this, so everybody this is just some guy who's out of the middle of nowhere talking. Right. But because I'm a little bit behind on this, I forgot about how all this stuff went down. People were claiming that she was connected to Skydio. But then, so shut down DJI. Everybody has to start purchasing local. Skydio benefits. But then I saw that Skydio was pulling back from civilian drones anyway. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. But I'd heard that they were starting to make military drones. So they weren't even making little, hobbyist or even photography drones anymore, really, for people. They were scaling back. So gotcha. And then, I don't know, since they're 3D printing drones in Ukraine like every 5 seconds, I mean, everything's changing so quickly now. So I don't really know. What are you reading over there?
Oh, I was looking at TikTok, honestly, on the TikTok live. I'm sorry, dude. No, I'm trying to go back and forth.
I was wondering if somebody was correcting us on that.
So, no. Now,
Timothy says it's a federal offense to shoot at aircraft.
Are personal drones considered aircraft?
I would think so, because mine's licensed with the FAA.
Okay. Why?
Because the man tells me I got to be licensed
to fly a personal drone.
Yeah, anything over like 200 and I want to say, I could be wrong, 249 grams or something. Which is why like DJI has the DJI Mini, because it's just under the limit. Okay, so anything above that has to be registered with the FAA. Okay, and then and if you're using a drone for commercial reasons at all. So if you're making a drone or flying a drone around and uploading it on your YouTube videos, and you can be monetized, I mean, it's commercial, so they can come after you. So you got to have it licensed, registered, or no, you have to have a license to fly it commercially, and then it has to be registered if it's above a certain weight.
Okay, so then if you're watching those apps that have all the flight tracker stuff on them, and you're flying your drone, would it show up on there?
I don't know. I don't think so yet. But my drone now, I mean, it does, because they made us all have remote ID installed, which is also, that was a big reason why I upgraded my drone this last year, because I had an old Mavic Pro that it was running fine. Anyway, I needed a new one anyway. I mean, the camera technology was just gone up leaps and bounds. But with remote ID, it's the wildest thing. So now in my drone, it's like it's flying around, and all of a sudden I get a little warning on the screen, and it's like, hey, you have small aircraft nearby, and all of a sudden there's a little plane flying by, or there's a helicopter. And so somehow it's able to put off a small signal to at least communicate with the aircraft around it. I can't imagine it's blasting some bigger, broader signal, but I think it puts off enough of a signal that it also shows up probably for those people flying around in a helicopter, probably. Or I don't know what they would have in there that tells them, hey, you got something flying around you. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I follow the rules pretty tight compared to when I first got it. You're supposed to keep it below like 400 feet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're like, nobody, who's out there? So you just like fly around, right? But I watch it really tight now. You just never know. There's so many problems.
Yeah.
I watch it, make sure you're, not, because all it can do is measure from where it took off from. So if the ground is sloping up, the topography is changing, you're going to need to possibly go up above that 400 feet ceiling. So you can go in there and go past it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying.
You can reset it so you can go above it, but that's if you're hugging the ground, sticking with the topography. So, what's going on over there? You're monitoring your TikTok?
No, I'm back on the live stream on YouTube because you were asking me what was going on over there.
Oh.
You're getting me confused.
Oh, I was just seeing what people were saying over there on yours.
Yeah,
because Cole was live streaming on his TikTok over there. Are you still live streaming?
Yeah, I am.
On his Chasing the Wild Outdoors?
Yeah, Chasing the Wild Outdoors on TikTok. No, I just I would be curious to know what KHS Great thinks they are.
It's kind of scary, like reading off some of the profiles. It's like you got to think really fast, and you're like, what am I really saying here?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it could be testing by the military, and like I said, it could be. I have a high suspicion that they're our own drones, and it's some kind of defense system. Dude, especially with Trump being ready to take over again.
Yeah.
If they weren't ours, I would just think that they'd be getting shot down if they weren't ours. And we know.
Right.
We know. I don't care what anybody says. They know what they are.
Yeah.
No,
not everyone.
I mean, and that goes back to why I asked you all them questions about your personal little drone.
Mm-hmm.
If they know that that's flying, they know there's multiple 7 and 8 foot drones flying all over the east and west coast.
That's what people are saying, though, is that these bigger drones that are flying all around right now, they're not showing up on people's smaller drones. So, like I say, if I'm flying near another drone, it'll tell them that you're flying near something. These drones are not showing up on people's smaller personal drones. And Mr. Timothy Tucker pointed out that it's weird because they're showing up over DC and there's a temporary flight restriction over DC. So how is it that these things are able to violate that airspace? If they are, right? I'm taking your word, Mr. Tucker. Taking your word.
Because they're ours.
Yeah, right.
Because they're ours.
Yeah, right. Because we paid for them.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We paid for them.
And there's some department of guys who are just like laughing right now every day. Like, hey, Carl.
Yeah.
Do you see that they're all freaking out over here or over there? Yeah. And I'll, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's our tax dollars.
Tax dollars at work causing mass hysteria once again.
They got to be having a great time, whoever's flying those drones around.
Yeah.
Just riling everybody up. It used to only take place out in the sticks, and then they could just blame it on like hick people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they had an alien, oh boy, we got another abductee.
Right.
What was he drink? How much was he drinking? Driving around his pickup truck, got abducted. But now, just like that, flying over major centers.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm checking in. The comment section out of control. I'm checking in. Sonny says it's aliens in all caps. So, must be so. DC did report. And that was John Doe. We all know who that is.
Yeah. So, and I do know there was a bunch of people in Montana last night that were saying they were seeing green streaks in the sky. Even my kids saw them, and there was a meteor shower last night. There was a legit meteor shower last night.
Oh.
Over the last couple nights. Is it the Perseid this time of year? I don't know for sure what. I thought in December we have the Perseid, but you could see them last night. I mean, they were flying.
Are you talking about? Okay, no, that's not the. Okay, I'm thinking of that other meteor shower, like the that comes out of. Gosh, it's twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, they say that it's the torides or the. It's the ones that they say to cause the, Randall Carlson, Graham Hancock. What's the name of that? Somebody knows in the comment section. It's the meteor shower that comes by twice a year. Right? Is that the one you're talking about? It comes out of the constellation of Taurus, I believe.
Okay.
And then I could be completely off on this, but it comes out so you can see it coming from space. Then it swings around the sun, and then that's when it gets scary because it's coming back. And you can't see those ones.
Yeah.
But that might be a different.
I mean, I know we're not, they're not confusing the stuff on the East Coast with meteors. I mean, I get that for real. I mean, they're drones, but there's drones over Montana. I mean, I haven't seen any.
I'm waiting, man.
I haven't seen any confirmed reports. And I scrolled X for quite a while to look, and everybody that was saying that, yeah, I saw one. Well, everything that I looked at, they were describing the meteor shower from last night. So
we're in Montana. That is why we're waiting. That's why we're curious, because the balloon went over Montana.
Yep.
Right?
Torrid.
Yeah,
torrid. Gemini shower is tonight. Thanks, Neoma Finn. Open to doubt. I like that name for some reason.
Obey my dog. When they say everything is fine, nothing to see, it's time to get out of town. Hey, I'm with you with obey my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We got another one. Oh, it's misguided angel. It's illegal to shoot at an aircraft, including drones, anywhere in the U.S.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not a federal cop, so I didn't know.
I wasn't going to tell anybody you were any kind of a cop.
Right, and I don't. Yeah.
Outed yourself.
I know. It's all right. It's not hard to find out. But I didn't know personal drones were considered aircraft.
Oh yeah. You know how I know? Because when I took that stupid test, the 107, part 107 they call it.
Yeah.
I took like all 2 hours to take this thing. I thought I was going to just blaze through it, right? No, there's like a 2-hour timer. Like I was down to the last couple minutes, like trying to check my last couple of answers. I barely passed that thing because they're making you take, like, you have to basically know how to communicate with air traffic control, how to look at maps, paper, and look at airspace on maps and charts and all this. Anyway, it's all this stuff that just doesn't pertain to simple little drone guys flying around doing real estate videos or something.
Yeah.
But I think they do that. I mean, that's my point. That's how I know that, it's all FAA, it falls under all those classifications, because when they test you on it, they test you on all this stuff and on a ton of stuff that doesn't even pertain. I'm glad they do. I mean, in a way. Because I'm like, it weeds out the riffraff. Like, the non-believers, non-believers. If you're a commercial, like the people who just like anybody and everybody go and just grabs a drone and flies around, whatever. I'm just saying from a business perspective.
Right.
It keeps out the people that anybody and everybody, if you got to be kind of serious to go through that stupid process. If you're going to fly a drone commercially, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying all the like people, and I'm not big on licensing. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the government should be licensing everything, but that's what I told myself to feel better.
To feel better about it.
I was like, good.
So super crazy. Super crazy Peanut Dave. I was in the military, and I can say with a shit ton of confidence, if things are being allowed to fly over America, it's Americans. And I have that same sentiment.
I agree.
For the most part. Outside of the Chinese balloon that flew over, that was just the ineptitude of this current administration in my mind. But if it's flying in our airspace over these major cities and ports, it's ours.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Flacky says there are no drones. All caps. It must be very serious.
Yeah. No, we are not condoning shooting at drones, by the way.
We are. Why did that come up?
Yeah, it came up. No, I would not condone that at all. It was mostly said tongue-in-cheek. Is that how the phrase goes?
I guess. I mean, we weren't even saying to do that. We were saying, like, I'm just saying, I just know that being in Montana, people are pretty people loose about.
Pretty loose about it, yeah.
About firearms and where they're shooting and stuff.
Yeah, but no, we're not condoning shooting down any kind of aircraft. That's ridiculous. So, The viral videos, they are not drones. I want to know what you think they are then. What else could they be other than drones? Are they transport vehicles for the Greys? I'm serious. I want to know what other people think they are if they're not drones, because they sure look like drones to me.
I saw some people zoomed way in on them, and some of them have like some odd, crazy shapes to them. I can't even hardly describe it. There was the one that we just watched at the beginning of this video, where there's almost like a glowing force field or orb. You know, not a force field. I mean, who knows what it is? I'm not suggesting that's what it is. It looks like a stupid force field around it, right? It just is like this glowing ball. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, let's see what you guys think. Flaky, I just don't think they're airplanes. They're just not that big. They're moving in weird ways. I don't know. Then there's Project Bluebeam. I don't know enough about it, but yes, it is a way, or it is a Project Bluebeam, right? Somebody's going to correct me on this. Project Bluebeam is a project it's kind of a psyop, apparently. This is me just completely unauthoritatively speaking out of turn here because I don't really know enough about it, all right? So, but apparently there's something called Project Bluebeam, and it's where they can stage a fake alien invasion by projecting either
I've read about this,
or all those kind of things. So there's some people saying that it's a Project Bluebeam psyop, right? So is that striking a chord with anybody out there? Project Bluebeam?
Yeah. Jennifer said Project Blue Book, but I'm assuming she means Bluebeam.
Well, there was Project Blue Book too. So Project Blue Book, I actually found out about that probably my freshman year of high school. Like, I had I had this biology teacher, Mr. Bowler. And Mr. Bowler, and this is in the 80s, he was the guy at school that everybody was like, everybody knew this guy was big into UFOs. And so when I think it was in biology. I think I had him for biology. So when I finally got into high school, I was like, I get to be in Mr. Bowler's class, and maybe we can hear the UFO stories. So then we got in there, we were all like, hey, we want to hear about the UFOs. He was the guy I first heard about Project Blue Book. And Project Blue Book was, I can't remember, but it goes way back. It was basically, I want to say it was a project to act like the government was researching UFOs, but they were basically mocking everybody who was finding them or seeing them and trying to discredit people, is I think what Project Blue Book was. Or I could be completely off on that. It's been a long time. So there was such a thing, though, as Project Blue Book.
Yeah. And seeing like Rob has a good point. Looking for hidden nukes, because a lot of people are saying, well, we're looking for hidden nukes. Why just at nighttime? Why aren't we seeing these drones flying around during the day?
And why and they all do have I see blinking lights on these things. So it's kind of like, hey, in your face, we're flying over you. Right. We're not telling you who we are and what we're doing. Right? I mean, so weird.
It is weird.
It's so interesting, though.
But that's what makes it interesting, is that it is weird.
I like all that stuff.
I do too.
Some people get really down about all this, about what's going on.
It's an exciting time.
It is a really exciting time. Like,
I mean, we've had the greatest comeback story, probably in history, happened right before our eyes.
It's pretty incredible. You got to admit, I even saw Van Jones was talking about that today. That what he was able to pull off there. That I mean, if you look at it objectively, like what that guy was up against, holy mackerel, would I have given up a long time ago. But yeah, there's so many crazy, interesting things happening right now in this time in history. So smokescreen, psyop for sure. Michael Lowe, energetically.
Yeah. Why would we be looking for nukes?
Hey, Amazon deliveries.
Could be. It's Christmas time. A lot of Amazon stuff being ordered right now.
Hey, I saw, I don't know. I think it was real. I think Trump posted a picture. Did you see it? It was on X, and it was, it's crazy how good AI is getting nowadays with the images. Oh my gosh. If I wish I had it loaded up, I'd pull it up. He posted a picture of Governor Chris Christie from New Jersey.
Oh, I did see that.
With the drones?
With the drones with McDonald's.
Delivering McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was awesome.
What a crazy time we live in. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is our first live stream. We have this fun little studio that we just, I don't know, we're just small town guys. We meet up with other just small town regular folk, and we have a podcast. We, been kind of doing this since 2019 here and there. Don't have a.
You have been.
Yeah.
Not me.
Well, you've been around.
I've been around, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of the story here is we've had this studio here for a long time. We've just never done a live stream. So thank you for joining us on our first live stream. And we're having a good time. Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time.
I'm having a great time too. We do a lot of pre-recorded stuff that we put out episodes. We produce a lot of things. But this is fun to speak about it in the moment, to interact with you guys in the comment section. So, hey, we appreciate you chiming in and spending a little bit of time with us on this subject tonight. So think about subscribing, hit that like button. We'd like to keep doing this some more, and maybe this will get Cole motivated to come over and hang out with me in my storage unit.
Motivated? I've been here in the last 2 days. I've been here like 9 hours.
I know. I'm just kidding. But
no, dude, I'm having a blast. This is fun, and I love seeing what other people are thinking.
Oh, I agree.
Because and
everybody's being pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But we're
at Montana, more or less. I will tell you right now, we're at I'm not scared.
No.
Right? We're at the Uncle Sam's complex in downtown Columbus, Montana.
On the south side of the tracks.
On the south side of the tracks.
Yeah.
I like telling Carol that I refer to her place as the Uncle Sam's.
The Uncle Sam's complex.
The Uncle Sam's complex here in the greater metro, I don't know, whatever. We're in Columbus, Montana, also known as God's country. We're not going to sit here and talk a bunch about it because then people will move here. But
right.
Jennifer says, I come in peace. Paul's sick of drones. Paul is sick of drones.
There's the Night Richard. He's in Montana. Welcome, man. It's About Time, Montana. Stevie Wonderland. That's a good one.
Miss Tina, her family's in Butte.
Dude, I love Butte.
I've only been to Butte a couple times, but Butte has amazing history over there.
No, Butte has some amazing history. Love the history in Butte. They had a professional football team at one time.
What?
Back in the day. Yep. Dillon, Montana, Great Falls, and Butte. Misguided Angel. Yeah.
Misguided Angel's from Montana?
No, he says been to Dillon.
Oh, okay.
Great Falls, Butte. Soul Church says it's Russia 50%, China 35%, Iran 15%.
So Denise Hanna says the drones are said to be over 20 states now.
Yeah.
So crossing our fingers that we get some over Montana. Because I'm just amazed that they're not over Montana yet. Has anybody seen in the list about them being over Montana? Because I'm interested about, I know that people are people everywhere, but but Montana is just a special breed out here, and I just kind of want to see what the reaction is out here.
Yeah. And you would think that we have them over here because we have...
Ooh, CB, has anyone tried to point a laser at those drones? That's a no-no too, right? We don't want to get in trouble for that one. But good question. Anyway, what were you saying?
Montana has a lot of strategic military things in Montana, and this is coming from a guy who was in the military. But Montana has strategic military stuff here.
Yeah.
And so if it were an outside organization that was interested in what we got going on, they would be over Montana.
Dude, I've got a book for you. I got to show you. All right? It's written by Joel Skousen.
Okay.
And it's called The North American Guide to Safe Places. And he breaks down the whole country, region by region, and talks about how if an area is safe for, let's say, every condition. Let's say civil unrest, weather, extreme weather.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that can cause things to be problems. Like, are you living in a safe area? And he says we're living in a really good area. He says because of the airflow, and I know what you're talking about. We got silos, and we got nuclear silos and things up outside of Great Falls. If Great Falls were to take a hit, he mentions that in particular. And he says that the air currents...
Yeah. Hold on. Misguided Angel, yes. We've heard of Dillon, Montana. I've been there multiple times. Great place. Great place to be. Dillon, Montana.
Anyway, he says we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Up here against the base of the Beartooth Mountains, the airflow would carry
nuclear fallout.
Yes, away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're actually sitting in a good spot. He does mention the mining community around here, though, and he says those guys are they're rough. They're a rough group, rough culture.
Yeah, the mining community.
Yeah.
Oh, in the book?
Yeah, he says that in the book. But anyway, in general, where we're sitting, we're pretty good. Yeah. And we're off the beaten path.
Well, we were, and then that TV show Yellowstone came out, and now we're not on the beaten path.
Yeah.
No, but in the book, so I'm interested in the book, but what does he say about Yellowstone National Park going boom?
I think he says on that
super volcano, we're all screwed.
Right. He's just kind of like, I can't remember. I'll have to bring it in, but I think he was just kind of like, if that goes off, everybody's got issues.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to bring that book to town.
You should.
It's a really good one. And he was in I would like to see if he has an updated version of it, but it does really kind of make you think about your area during crisis, like can be during drought, can be during, he points out, like, if you're anywhere in the country, he points out, like, oh, is there a nuclear power plant near you? Blah, 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 whatever. No heat signature. Some flying 400 feet above my house sometimes. Paul, what state, city? Without getting too particular, my man. Where are you at? No wonder, because I think it was Paul earlier said, I'm sick of these drones. They were 400 feet above his house.
Right.
I get it, man.
Fox News, turn it up. So, is there something on Fox News right now that we're not aware of? I don't know. So.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Why is it even a question?
Yeah, like Shelby just said, if it's the overseas countries, they'd be looking in Montana for all the silo locations for the nukes here. Again, that brings me back to my point.
Is that our Shelby Burroughs?
That's our Shelby Burroughs. I'm actually waiting for him to walk through the door.
My man.
Yeah. No, but if they weren't ours, we wouldn't be letting that stuff fly around. I don't know. We let that Chinese drone. That balloon. Why do you think we let that fly over? Because this administration is inept.
Do you think they're inept, or do you think they're compromised?
Both, completely. But they're inept, and yeah, they're compromised. But
what do you think? What would if Trump were in office today? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to start a bunch of problems for everybody. Everybody just be cool. What do you think his reaction in office would be right now? What do you think he'd be doing?
I think if Trump were president right now, we'd know what they are. And if they weren't ours, they'd be shot down.
Huh.
Dude, Trump likes to flex. We can flex our power a little bit. We're going to flex.
Yeah.
So I think misguided angel, we don't have our super chat set up yet. We're going to get there. But this was our first
live stream.
Our first live stream. And
I can't tell you, we spent 2 evenings in here just trying to figure out the particulars of how to get our stuff to run. I mean, yeah, it took us a little bit. We wanted to make sure it looked good, sound good, and that we were just streaming correctly and all that kind of stuff. So this has been a blast, though, and everybody's being really nice. So we'll continue to do this. That's the plan. We're going to try to do this at least once a week, and maybe more. We want to break down some of the stuff. We're just figuring this out because we like history. We end up gravitating toward that a lot whenever we're talking about things. But we want to talk about what are some Montana issues, what are some U.S. issues, and what's some issues in the world. Yeah. So, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button and you can hear that ding when we got new stuff coming out. We do have a lot of pre-recorded podcasts that, we've been pretty regular on those. Oh, yeah. With some interesting people from the local area, and we're kind of branching out and getting people from other places. Still in Montana and Wyoming. I mean, we do have some Wyoming friends that we bring in the studio from time to time. But, tonight we're having a blast, and I'm hoping that we can do this at least weekly, if not more. At least, more would be great. So. Yeah, for sure. And it's so funny to see Shelby just pop in there. I know.
So I'm waiting for JT to chime in.
Visual Vendetta, we do not have confirmation yet. We're waiting for confirmation on drones being over Montana. And I don't know what the 20 states are, but somebody also mentioned earlier that drones have been spotted over 20 states. So we're trying to figure out if anybody's been reporting them over Montana.
Recon Studio says they, been chemtrailing for days over Great Falls. Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what else this kind of reminds me of? When I was a kid. I don't know if this was like a local thing or not. I grew up in in Las Vegas, Nevada area. Anyway, but when I was a kid, on Christmas Eve, you'd go to bed, and then you could get on the radio, and I can't remember if it was AM or FM, and they did the Santa report on the radio. And there was a channel or a radio station that always they played some Christmas music, and then every now and then they would break in and give a report on where sightings are of where Santa is and where he's been moving around all through the night. And we would listen to that. And I kind of feel like that's what we're doing right now, is asking for where these drones popping in. Cracks me up.
Yeah, see the tick. Why do these drones have what looks like FAA regulation navigation lights? Yeah, it's because they're ours.
They're ours.
They're ours. It's some kind of defense system training. It's got to be, they got to be ours. They're not getting shot down. They're flying at night. We're not seeing them all day long.
There's obviously a lot of new technology in with these things. And so why wouldn't they test that over somebody else's country, though, instead of stirring us up?
Yeah.
Why do you think? Why wouldn't they be? Or maybe they are, right? They're starting to branch out. We're seeing them in China. Or are we?
I don't know. Greg, they're Canadians. The Canadians are looking in on New Jersey. I don't know.
You mean the 51st state? Oh my gosh. That was a crack up the other day.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
But as a dude who loves hockey, huge hockey fan, if Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, British Columbia, if they wanted to join up, and if you've been up there, a lot of pretty country. There's some good hunting up there.
I got to get up there.
Yeah. I could handle that part of Canada being the US. So, I'm just saying.
I just thought it was hilarious that he went there. That was great.
Yeah.
Tony says they're all across the world, bro. Well,
they're in England as well.
Then we'll get to see, get a little bit more entertaining when they're over Montana. We get to see how the locals around here handle that.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of tech. He's saying it's an airline. Yeah, they're too small for those, though.
Yeah. Montana Border Patrol does use drones. Yeah. I know Border Patrol down south uses drones. A lot of law enforcement use drones.
Does the county here ever use their drones?
So they have been used. The county, so DES has quite a few drones, and they fly them for when we have fires or, when we have any kind of natural disaster or anything like that, we fly our drones to get all sorts of layouts and maps and stuff like that. They're super useful. We've used them for search and rescues.
Because are you still doing search and rescue as well?
No, I'm not on search and rescue anymore. But yeah, we've used drones for that kind of stuff. They're pretty useful.
I remember it was kind of controversial when they very first got them. Do you remember that? Everybody was kind of worked up. We were like, what the?
Yeah. And Montana has such an enhanced Fourth Amendment that the right to privacy, drones, we're very limited in the law enforcement world in Montana where drones can be used for investigation and that kind of thing because of our enhanced Fourth Amendment rights. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Totally okay with that. So.
That's one good thing I feel about living where we live. I know a lot of other people.
Greg's a Canadian that doesn't watch hockey. That would be the first one I've met. I haven't really met you, Greg, but I'm a huge Edmonton Oilers fan. I'll go right out and say it now. Tonight, I watched the afternoon matinee with Vegas Golden Knights, and they smoked Vegas.
Really?
We had one goal that was stupid. Skinner fell, and the goal went in. And then there was another goal that should have probably been stopped. But for the most part, we smoked Vegas, and I loved every second of it.
Wow.
Huge Edmonton Oilers fan.
Okay, I'm checking in here. This comment section, completely out of control. Okay. I'm trying to pre-read. I'm trying to like, make sure I don't.
Yeah.
All right. I see that there's a lot of people are saying, hey, we all kind of are thinking they're ours.
Yeah. No drones in
Chris
Detroit.
Says, damn Canadians invading so politely. When the Canadians invade, they would be polite about it.
Yeah.
I sat in Canadian customs for 3 days one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Waiting for my paperwork to show up from. I was driving truck long haul. This is years ago, right? Mm-hmm. This was my first time into Canada. I picked up a load of frozen chicken out of South Carolina or North Carolina. I can't remember. I was in the Carolinas. And this trailer was at a drop yard with the reefer units running, keeping it frozen. And so I go there, I pick up to it, and I head for Canada, right? Mm-hmm. It was over Thanksgiving. So I head to Canada. My luck is this. I get to Canada, and I was going to be away from home for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. But every truck stop in America does like Thanksgiving dinner, okay? And so I was like, that's okay. I'll have my, I'll do that, whatever. I get to Canada, my first time there. I go into customs, and they're like, your agricultural certificate is expired. And I'm like, what? I don't even know what that is. So I hand them my paperwork, right? And they're like, yeah, your chicken's expired. And it's like, once that gets issued by the state of South Carolina, mm-hmm. It's got a window. Like, apparently not a very big window, because I don't know how long it was sitting in that drop yard frozen, but I hooked onto it, went to Canada with it. I got there, and then, so they're like, I'm sitting there in this big parking lot. And I'm pretty much broke. I'm like a new truck driver. I've got like no money. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting in this parking lot for 3 days because they had to mail an original certificate. It couldn't be faxed.
They had to be like mailed.
Yeah.
Mailed. Well.
In the mail. So I had to call dispatch back in wherever, I think it was in Utah. And they had to contact the state of South Carolina to issue another agricultural certificate. That chicken's not getting any younger, right? I mean, it's frozen. It's fine. But isn't that kind of funny that the chicken's not expired, but my agricultural certificate is expired, and they had to mail me another one. Mm-hmm. And so I sat in this, I don't know. That was my first time to Canada driving truck, and my only time. And then Thanksgiving happened while I was in Canada.
Yeah.
And I ate at a Wendy's, and I didn't have any Canadian dollars, and everybody kind of shamed me when I had to
use US dollars.
Yeah, and they had to like exchange it for me.
Yeah.
And but they were nice, fairly nice. They took me back in the like.
Oh, Canadians are super nice, dude.
Yeah. The worst part of that whole trip was coming back through US customs in Detroit.
Yeah.
The guys were such jerks. Like the Canadians were like, that's the whole point of this story is the Canadians were pretty polite to me, considering. Mm-hmm. And U.S. Custom, the guy was such a jerk in Detroit. It was terrible. That was my only time driving truck into Canada. Mm.
Yeah, we go to Canada often to go watch hockey. And we've never had any issues back or forth.
Siberia says, can we talk drones? All caps. Let's get aggressive here about drones. We've been talking drones, and you let us know what you want to talk about with drones. We've kind of hit it from many angles, and we want to hear what your angle is.
Manifest You, Marion, Montana, checking in. Marion, Montana. It's a town you don't hear of too often. So, hey, did we forget how evil the health insurance companies are because of all of a sudden there are drones? See, and we talked about that.
Well,
we're throwing that. Well, I mean, I'm saying the healthcare in general,
right.
but
yeah.
Something's going on over here, so we need to distract from what's actually going on.
We were saying that there are probably like 15 big subjects out there that this is distracting about, but it's kind of like, does this? I know there's big issues out there, but it's really hard to tell what this issue really is at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, right now it's harmless; nobody's getting hurt. Mm-hmm. But where is this issue going? So is it just a distraction? Is it taking our minds off of more important things? Or
well, it's got us talking about it, and we're probably missing the thing that's actually going on.
Yeah, well,
and we're going to find out what's going on if there's actually something going on. And this drone weapons defense system that the U.S. is trying out is
Fed Up says, we're sending a message to our adversaries that we have got tech. Is that what you're saying? We've got tech, and that's the message we're sending out there. That's all I can think from that.
Yeah. How is the American drone stopping a medical helicopter from landing and sitting down in the airport in New York?
Good point. I don't know the details of that, but I did see earlier today that who was that? I can't remember who it was who came out and said that this is causing safety problems for helicopters trying to life flight.
Yeah.
That's an issue. For sure. I haven't seen anything back from Siberia yet. Have you? I didn't.
No, I haven't. So it's interesting. Dude, super interesting. Hey guys, thanks for joining in. This is our first ever live podcast, and this wasn't expected, to be honest with you, having this super awesome chat going, and you guys chiming in and keeping us rolling here. So appreciate it. Two small town dudes from Montana just talking about the world. So man, we'd appreciate it if you guys subscribe and like us, and we'll keep doing this. We're gonna check back in and keep it rolling.
Maybe on the next one we can talk about what Old Red just brought up, that nothing that 1,000 bottles of baby oil can't fix. Holy mackerel, the world's gone crazy.
Oh man,
there's so many wild things right now that we could be talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you everybody. We are going to wrap it up, and we appreciate you spending this evening with us talking about this. We're watching it right with you. We're going to continue to keep watching all this madness, this craziness out there, and we'll all just try to treat each other right, stay safe. All right. Thanks everybody.